Just start before you feel ready. So I heard this advice like thousands of times, but how does it actually really work? Because to start before you feel ready, you have to start before you feel ready. It's basically a closed loop. How does it work? One part of this is absolute retard maxing, thinking less than you would have to, not thinking about the consequences. And the second part is actually getting into the habit of starting before you feel ready. And if you think, how am I credible to even talk about this? Well, I'm wearing a Patagonia vest, so I probably know what I'm talking about and you should listen to me. So, retard maxing, how do you go about it without actually being a retard? There's a subtle art and subtle, like a line, a fine line to this of what you should actually do. Now, I'm a fan of elimination and eliminating as many things as possible from your life. So before we start adding something, we have to eliminate the most unnecessary things. And when it comes to retard maxing, first of all, you have to stop reading all these smart philosophy books like Dostoevsky. I know what I know what else there is, like all these Robert Greene books, like this 48 laws of power, or how whatever the amount there is, like all these smart history philosophy books which make you overthink about everything, right? Which make you overthink every small little decision, all the meaning of universe and meaning of your whole life. As weird as this advice sound, it's actually doing more harm to you than good. You may think that if you read these books, you become smarter, your IQ increases, and you're a more interesting person in conversations. But the reality is you're not, right? And at the end of the day, we just all want to have fun. At the end of the day, we just want to smile and laugh and not think about how to solve the poverty in Somalia, right? No one really cares about that, to be honest. No one really cares. So really just stop reading all of these super smart books. They're not doing you any good. The books that you actually have to read are the ones that are made for masses. The ones that you would see 22-year-old blonde girls in coffee shop reading. You know, something like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Something like How to Win Friends and Influence People. Like all these massively produced books that are easy to read. The books that, if the book has any illustrations or charts, that's amazing. That's your go-to book. Or just go to any coffee store and see what white girls are reading. That's what you should aim for. When you walk into the bookstore, and in the middle of the bookstore there are like big piles of most popular books, that's the books that you should read. Not some underground niche books like The War and I don't remember what Dostoevsky wrote, but like you get the idea. Not these underground, too smart to understand books like Wealth of Nations. I was in my, I think I was in 12th grade, right? I was senior in high school. I bought Wealth of Nations. Every page that I read, I don't understand anything. I don't understand what the fuck am I reading. That book didn't help me at all. I hated that book. I loved Rich Dad Poor Dad. I loved that book because how easy it was to read. It was so easy to read. There were illustrations, graphs, charts. Oh my god, amazing. Wealth of Nations? What did it taught me? The Wealth of Nations taught me that the market cap of silver is higher than the market cap of gold. Even though silver is less expensive per ounce, there are much more units of silver, so the market cap of silver is higher. What do I do with this information now? I can't do anything with this information, right? I can't do anything with this information. Also, Adam Smith wrote about like optimizing factories and optimize production at industrial companies, that every person does one thing and one thing only. In example, in manufacturing on shoes, like There's a line of manufacturing. One person does the base, another person does like some other layer, third person does this, fourth person does laces, fifth person does like the final packaging. That's where you are the most productive. Okay, like what do I do with this information now? You see what I'm trying to say? That book is like super smart, super deep. It grasps all the concepts. It was written 300 years ago. Right now, if I want to get rich, I'm not gonna use these. I'm not gonna use that knowledge because I'm not gonna start manufacturing shoes. Even if I will start manufacturing shoes, I will just outsource Indians and Vietnamese people. You see what I mean here? It's really difficult to apply that knowledge, and you just start overthink every small detail when you read this book. So stop reading these small underground philosophy books, as weird as it sounds. Next thing, get big and get jacked. One thing I noticed after putting on a solid amount of muscle, people treat you absolutely different. People treat you differently, and you feel absolutely differently in social situations. Like, I was raised in a household where you couldn't really speak up your mind, you couldn't really, differentiate yourself from the society, from masses, and you just have to sit still, don't act out, don't say anything that don't say anything weird that society would punish you for or would start looking at you differently. Basically, be as everyone else. Don't differentiate yourself from society. Be as general masses. That's in what household I was raised. And it really stuck with me. I just tried to be as quiet as possible. If someone like, I can't say any idea that is out of general consensus. But when I got jacked, I realized not only I can say whatever I want and no one will do a thing to me, I can do whatever I want. I can be rude to other people, I can be offensive, I can be aggressive. But if you have more muscle, another person can't do anything to you. Even if that person is like 40, 50 year old, even if that person is like twice older than you, it doesn't mean shit, right? You don't have to respect that person just because he's older. And that's the narrative that I think a lot of people are being fed up. That if another person is older, you have to respect him because he has lived more. Man, I think when I turned 19, I realized for like 100% confidence that no matter the age, most people are absolute idiots. Most people have no idea what the hell are they talking about. Most people have no idea what they're doing, even if they're like experts in their field. Man, fuck those experts. Fuck those experts. I thought when I was like 15, 16, I thought that every adult, like 40 plus year old, is like some super genius. Some super genius, super smart dude, knows everything about everything, and I'm just out of the competition. I'm just out of the competition. At 19, I realized everyone is an absolute idiot. Just because that person is older than me, it doesn't mean that he's smarter. In fact, he's probably more dumb because that person went through last 20 years of drinking every weekend, smoking and eating junk food. So this person's like physical and mental health is much worse than mine. So don't you ever think that older person is smarter than you. So get jacked, get big. I know it's not like an easy fix. You can't just press a button and put on like 30 pounds of muscle. If there is such a button, please let me know. But the time is gonna pass anyways. And I really just noticed that in any social situation, I can say anything. Of course, it doesn't give you a right to be rude to other people, to be aggressive. It doesn't, but it gives you that confidence that you can speak up your mind no matter how out of the consensus that is. No, in a social situation, I could say like enslave black people or tax the poor, or like women can't drive. Of course, like it's not what I think is true, but I could say this and I know that no one would tell me a thing because I have more muscle. Now, of course, eventually, if you say things like that, yes, there will be a bigger person who can knock the fuck out of you. But it's not that many people. It's not that many people, to be honest. Of course, the things that I just said, I don't agree with them. I don't say that that's true, but it's just to get you an idea, get an understanding of how much confidence does it gives you just being physically bigger and physically stronger than other people. And I think that's very good. Next step on retard maxing is to actually use more stimulants, caffeine specifically. It can be in any form: pre-workout, coffee, green tea, matcha. What I really like using also is intranasal Semax spray, Semax. It's just the thing that you spray into your nose. Gives you a lot of energy. Not gonna expand about this. I think it's what was the word? What's the word? Nootropic. I think it's a nootropic. Then there is armodafinil. Now that's a drug used to treat narcolepsy. Just research about it more. I also like this thing a lot. And guarana powder. Don't be afraid to abuse some caffeine, to abuse some stimulants, because when you are young, you can do basically anything you want and you will be fine. Just track your caffeine that you don't go above 400 milligrams and you'll be fine. I think right now it's 2:20 p.m. and I've taken 200 milligrams of caffeine. I can still take the same amount. Maybe I will have one more coffee. That's it. And fourth is get into the habit of retard maxing. And you will actually notice that most situations that you stress out about, they don't really have any negative effects, at least not as high as you would think. Because think about it. At the end of the day, if no one has died, no one is injured, or no one is going to jail, then everything is fine. Nothing bad has really happened. And that's the mindset I have. If I fucked something up, I think, well, no one has died, no one is injured, no one is going to jail, no one is broke, I'm not gonna be homeless, then it's fine, then don't stress about it. People make mistakes all the time, but they tend to stress so much about just small little things. That really sucks. And now we go from retard maxing to actually get into the habit of starting before you feel ready. As I said in my previous video, really absolutely the best advice is take the biggest thing that you procrastinate about, the thing that you wanted to start finally doing the most for the longest period of time, and tell yourself that if you do this thing by end of today or by the end of the week, you will allow yourself to buy some treat. It can be something cheap, can be something expensive. If you're on a caloric deficit, right? If you're on a diet and you want to, I don't know, finally start that project that you've been thinking about, say that if I'm just gonna start today, I will buy like a whole bag of croissants or whatever you want. If food is not an object for you, as it shouldn't be, just buy something nice for you. Treat yourself. Really just treat yourself. So as it was for me, I really wanted to start posting on YouTube because I felt I had so many great and creative ideas that I want to share, but I was always just postponing it every single day. It was going on for years. Can you imagine that? For years. So one day at 8 p.m. I just told myself, man, if I just post a video today, and it was 8 p.m., my bedtime is 10 p.m. And I told myself, if I just post today, I can buy myself a camera right now. I can buy myself a new camera, and camera is quite expensive, right? It's quite expensive stuff. But I really wanted to finally start posting. I uploaded my first video within 12 minutes. Within 12 minutes, that's it. Because I could have been procrastinating on this for my whole life. Imagine, for the whole life you could procrastinate on something just because you said, no, I'm not gonna buy myself something. No, I'm not gonna buy the thing that I wanna buy anyways, right? I wanted to buy myself a camera anyways, but I knew it was kind of expensive, and I thought even if I buy camera, maybe I was still gonna procrastinate, but no. I've made almost 40 videos now in the last 6 months. So I'm really happy with the progress. So don't argue with yourself. Don't try to like gaslight yourself that you will buy something that you want to buy, but eventually you know deep inside that you're not gonna do this and you just kind of want to free ride it. No, just really treat yourself. Treat yourself, because at the end of your life, you're not gonna remember the money you have saved. You're not gonna think about it. You will just think about, no, the goals you have achieved, the people that you've met, the experiences you had, and the fulfillment. That's really it. And now, because you have started to fix the biggest thing you have been procrastinating on, it's a piece of cake from this moment on. It will be really just a piece of cake, because you fix the thing that you've been procrastinating on for the most. So to fix the things that you've been procrastinating on less, it will be so easy. It will be so easy. So that's really the best advice I could give on how to finally start before you feel ready, is to just buy yourself something nice if you do the thing that you've been procrastinating on the most. I think that's the most effective thing. Because you start with the biggest challenge and you buy yourself something nice that you would have bought anyways. Isn't that a win-win? Okay.